We are two best friends talking about life inside and outside of the gym as women, daughters, sisters, aunties, coaches, and friends.
We will tackle topics ranging from the nervous system, divorce, body image, and dating in your 40s.
We also like to nerd out on the inner workings of the heart, mind, and body. All content, opinions, and ideas are taken from our 47 years of combined coaching experience and is not medical advice.
We don't apologize for being strong or believing we can change the world. We don't take ourselves too seriously around here, and we invite you to do the same.
Okay.
Does my hair look blue?
Looks great. You kind of have great hair all the time, though.
Oh, well, thanks.
It's very true.
Well,
yeah.
You know, there once was a day where I didn't leave the house without straightening this bad boy.
I can't believe you straightened your hair every day.
Every day.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of work.
It was.
Do you know
It was a lot
that,
of work. It's so unhealthy for my hair.
Yeah. Do you know a friend of ours who's actually staying in the guest room at the house for a little bit? She said that her brother found a study that said that the average woman, which I'm like, somebody's lying, that the average woman blow dries their hair for an hour every day.
No.
I'm like, what? How do you even blow dry your hair for an hour?
There's no way.
I know. I'm wondering if it was like blow dry and style, but she's like, he said blow dry. And I'm how do you even blow dry your hair for an hour? You just burn it.
Yeah, you'd burn it. It would be so, you'd be so hot. I'd get a bloody nose.
I'd need another shower because I'd sweat so bad.
Man, like extreme heat like that gets I would probably get a bloody nose.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be.
We should
be great.
probably the bloody nose girl over here. This is Chantel Dayton, my best friend.
Yes, me.
I am Lou Crenshaw. We are the owners of Dropgym, an all-women's gym in Southern Oregon.
We are known as the dynamic duo.
Dynamic duo. One of us is tall. One of us is short. Mm-hmm. Yep.
The tall one
Although
and the short
sitting
one.
here, I bet we're not too different because I kind of have a longer torso and you have a little bit shorter of a torso and you have much longer legs than I do.
This is very true.
My legs are very short.
This is very true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're about the same height right now.
Yeah.
I feel like these chairs.
I feel like that chair is a little squishier than this one.
It is.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
feels a little bit lower. I feel a little taller in this one. Okay. So we're going to do this silly podcast today because it's something we joke around a lot about. And so we just thought, let's totally do a podcast about it.
Yes, I agree 100%. I feel like man or woman, young or old, people have an idea about what it is that we do. And some of them are hilarious. And others are offensive, slightly offensive. Others are, it's absolutely couldn't be farther from what we do or feel or think.
But to be fair, it's even hard for us to explain what we do. So if it's really hard for you to explain what you do as the owners, and then you have people that come experience what you do, and then they go home and then they try to tell the people that they love and know about what we do, I bet it would be really confusing as well. And then you might just kind of like throw up your hands and be like, I have no idea. Because we've even worked with women who are marketers and they are wordsmiths and they have experienced what we do. And they really struggle to really say what it is that we do because it's so different for every woman, right? Our tagline is experience the effect because everybody's ripple effect in their life is totally different. Every woman comes away with a completely different experience, even though they all went through the same journey.
Exactly. Yeah, I 100% agree. I think what do you feel like is the most offensive misconception?
I think at first when we started doing Camp 17, when we started, can you read my mind right now?
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
When we started doing Camp 17, which was our very first, it was an 8-week program that we did. And people thought it was a fat camp.
Yeah, I
which was
remember.
just so odd because
And
there
they
was
actually
non-fat
said
people
it wasn't
in
like
there.
it wasn't like it was so straight. Like people actually wrote it. Like they
Yeah.
wrote. I remember people writing it on Facebook. You know, they were commenting on somebody's
Yeah.
thing, and I remember I remember thinking like, okay, we might need to have whoever reads it first and is offended, then the other person, like if I read it,
Yeah.
you need to respond to it, because I was like, I remember being
Yeah.
fired up
Yeah.
about this, and it was
You're like,
yeah,
oh,
it was
wait,
so
actually, we're a program that women of all shapes and sizes feel comfortable coming to.
yeah.
But yeah, it was so interesting because when we came out with what we were doing, we didn't even really know what we were doing. We just wanted to help women move their bodies better, feel more at home in their bodies, start fighting for their life, and start dreaming more. I mean, that's really what we wanted to do, using movement and breath as the vehicle to doing that.
Yeah.
So it was just really interesting. What you might know what I'm about, you know, you may know the one that I'm thinking about too. It kind of came along with the fat camp, but that at Camp 17.
Oh, I'm not sure. I thought you were going to ask me which one is the one that I feel most offensive.
Okay,
because I'm like,
which one do you feel the most offensive about?
I feel like it's the beginner class for CrossFit.
Yeah.
The beginner version of CrossFit. Or
Yeah.
like you need to come to us first and get the intro, and then you'll go to CrossFit, because CrossFit's like the final like landing.
Yeah.
Like that's where you need to be, but you need to work your way up. And
Which
ours
is so
like a
weird
ladder.
because that's never how. I mean, I owned a CrossFit gym for 9 years.
It's totally not
and
how CrossFit
it's not.
functions.
CrossFit's like come in and
Yes.
we'll meet you where you are.
Yes, all levels, all ages.
Yeah.
And we have something for everyone.
Yeah.
And we are the same here as well. Like all levels, not necessarily all ages, but adults, and we have something for you here as well. And but it was this idea that we didn't do hard things that was so offensive to me. Where I was like, come on over. You want a beginner CrossFit class?
Let me teach you how to kick and punch.
Yeah. Let's
You want to be sore in parts of your body that you have never been
how about
sore
a body
for?
weight sandbag carry for 400 meters? See how long that takes you, huh?
Well, and to be fair, I mean, a lot of people, I think, still, if you were to walk into our gym, we have a really beautiful warehouse gym. We have a really 2,500
chandelier in our bathroom.
We have a
Come
chandelier. Yeah, we have a
on.
crystal chandelier.
Yes,
like a
we
full-on
do.
crystal chandelier in our bathroom, with any toiletry amenity you could probably ever need, and it's beautiful. And so we have this beautiful gym, and when you walk in, if you've ever been into a CrossFit gym, you might look around and be like, oh, this is a CrossFit gym. But there's just it's not, we don't do CrossFit. I used to do CrossFit. I think CrossFit is amazing. I think
Yes,
CrossFit
yeah.
has done incredible things for the fitness industry, but we are definitely not a CrossFit gym. And if we were a CrossFit gym, we would honor the fact that we are a CrossFit gym.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to throw that out there because there's a lot of CrossFit gyms in the world that just pretend like they're not CrossFit gyms so they don't have to pay their affiliate fees, and they don't have CrossFit in their name, but they're actually a CrossFit gym.
Yes.
And every trainer in their gym is a certified CrossFit trainer, but
Yes, that is not us.
that is not us.
Yes.
And come on, guys,
Similarities.
pay your dues.
Yes.
You're a CrossFit gym.
Yes.
Don't pretend like you're not, and like honor. Yeah, I just
Yeah, you
have a
tell
lot
him,
to say
girl.
about-
You tell
It's just
him.
not right. It's not
It
integral.
isn't. No.
You are a CrossFit gym, and that is part of being a CrossFit gym. Is that CrossFit is in the name, whether that's right or wrong. That's the way that it goes. It's it's a trademark system, but it's kind of like, okay, come on.
Yeah,
you are a CrossFit gym.
Yes, we are not a CrossFit gym. And we, the similarities are we are group fitness classes, but
Yeah.
group fitness classes have been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And the way in which that we approach things are not the same.
Yeah.
Fitness is fitness. Movements, back squats, front squats, things of the like burpees are, yes, when people talk about CrossFit, they talk about those things
Yeah.
and wall balls and things like that. But when it really comes down to it, it is different. And we are not a beginner CrossFit gym. That I feel like was one that really offended me too.
Yeah.
Because it just suggested that we don't do things that are really hard.
Yeah.
And and there's only so far you could go here before you have to like level up and go to another place, which is
and there's a lot of things that we movement wise that we just might not do that you might find in a CrossFit gym because
there's a lot of things that we do that you wouldn't find in a CrossFit gym as well.
Yeah. So it's just I really just do think that it's so funny and because it really is hard to describe what we do. But I think too, when we first started doing Camp 17, we wanted to have hard conversations, and then after like having these conversations, let's then give you a movement experience to experience the truth of what you would do in this situation or the truth of what you do in this situation.
Not just what you think you do or you say that you would do, but what you actually do.
Yeah. So that's what Camp 17 was. We had 8 weeks. We had 16 classes, and every class had a topic that we were talking about, right? We had a classroom in there, and then we'd do movement.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
And that is one of the reasons why in like what you're talking about with the conversations that we would have, a lot of them were around what it was like to be a woman and what as a woman we struggle with in certain areas of our lives. And not to say that men don't struggle with those same things, but they just look differently.
Yeah.
They present themselves differently. And so that's why we had an all women's class. That's why it started as all women's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was never, I think Camp 17 was always just a class that we were going to run. We were never going to have a gym. And it was definitely, we weren't going to have a gym, and we were definitely not going to ever have an all women's gym. Right. But there was this really interesting misconception of that, at Camp 17, you talk about your feelings.
Yes.
You work out and you talk about your feelings.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And then I don't want to work out and talk about my feelings.
Or I don't want to talk about my feelings. And it would be so funny because you'd kind of go like, well, you actually don't have to talk about anything if you don't want to. We're going to teach something. We're going to give a concept, and then we're going to give you an experiential fitness journey to then express and be honest about what this really looks like.
Yeah, to where then you have the only true starting place for anything, which is honesty.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you aren't honest, then that's not a true starting place. If you're starting from where you think you are or where you feel like you're supposed to be, you're never going to go anywhere because there's so much ground between those places and where you actually are that has yet to be like discovered, has yet to be plowed, you know? And so I think that was one of the coolest things, because even the strongest and the most fit women that would come to our program, there was always something that stripped them down to that honest starting place. And it wasn't a place of comparison, you know, of like, okay, I'm at the top of the class and this is where I'm at. It's like, okay, well, we're going to add more weight to your sled because we want to see what happens when things get hard.
Or being in a room full of women of all shapes and sizes, all fitness levels, and then sitting in the room going, wait a second, you too? You struggle with this? No, women like you, women that look like you don't struggle with this.
Yeah.
Women like you that wear cute Lululemon pants like that and those cute little shoes, you don't struggle. Like girls like me, we struggle with this.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that was one of the coolest things that would happen, where it was then not only was that happening, but then it was the realization of like, whoa, I can go outside of this safe space and I can go into my work environment and I can, without having conversation with other people, begin to wonder about other people. Not wonder what they struggle with so that you know what they struggle with, but just in like, whoa, we all are like in this together.
Yeah.
You know, like we're all in this life together. Like if I choose to share some things with you, like this could be a really cool connection, because not only that, but now I know that I'm not alone.
Exactly.
And so inviting other people in, you know, to opening up and being more honest with where they're at was one of the most beautiful things about, and even from like what you said, from women, not only with inside a gym, which places of comparison often are performance and what someone's body looks like, but even outside of the gym, looking at like socially, or you know, where someone's at, you know, from being who have like 8 kids to someone who is, you know, single and doesn't have any, where it's like, whoa, okay, we can see each other differently. And I think that was one of the coolest things, and still is one of the coolest things that we do,
because it creates an environment that is not competition, and there's not comparison,
and it's not super, it's not superficial.
It's amazing.
It is.
So
that was another one that
even
was,
at Dropgym, you don't come in and talk about your feelings.
No.
I mean, if you need to talk, we will totally listen. But it's just not what we do.
No, it's definitely not what we do, you know. And I think that was also like, you know, one of the misconceptions, like that we don't do hard things in here. And we do hard things in here on every level. Physically, emotionally,
or
socially,
even if
relationally.
The hard thing that you do that day is you actually choose a recovery workout. And you choose to move slowly with your mouth closed, nasal breathing only, while there's other people around you doing other things, and you are settling into what you're doing, or you're doing a finisher and everybody else is done, but you want to keep going, and you're not going to do what everybody else is doing. You're going to do what you need to do and what you want to do. And so there's that beautiful connection that women start to have inside the gym with their bodies and what they need and what they want to do on that day, and giving them the freedom to do what they need to do. Like at the end of today's workout, there was an opportunity to do some sprints. And it was just do as many sprints as you want to do. You don't need to do as many as everybody else is doing. You don't need to be peer pressured into this. I don't even want you to punish yourself into another one. I want you to go until you get that, that was good, I'm done. Right. Which is just something that we get to do on a daily basis, and absolutely love to do.
How about that we hate men?
Yes, we're an all women's gym because
we hate men.
It's
come on. We can hate men together. It's like the
we're just not those kind of women.
No,
we are not. We are just not.
I think that there's like when women get together, there is like this mystery, I feel like, of like what's happening in there, you know? And it's often, I feel like people are like, we're like these
girl,
crazy
I like your pants.
Feminists. Where we're just like death to all of the men because
and
they're
marriage, we hate it.
We hate
men, yes, men are bad.
No, oh my gosh.
Or that we are, you know, yes, we empower women, but we don't empower women in a way that there is
that women don't need men.
Yes, no, that you just need to learn how to do all the things yourself because men are incapable and lazy and passive and all this, right? And so it's really interesting because we absolutely love men. We love it when our ladies bring their spouses
there was 2
in.
husbands in here this morning. It was awesome.
Because we used to have a men's class that we ran, and then we also have, you know, personal training one-on-one where men come in, and so it's definitely something like the environment kind of created itself.
The emotional pieces that started to happen, and the deep dives into wanting to have a safe place where women felt like they could fail a lot, or they could cry, or they could yell, or they could express themselves fully. It just came out of necessity. I mean, my favorite really is, in the online dating world, asking, what you do. And then you say, oh, I own an all women's gym. And they're like, what, do you hate men? And you're like, oh my gosh.
The one I get all the time is when I say that they'll say something like, oh yeah, I could totally see why that's a thing, because like men are disgusting, and it's like going to the gym is like a meat market and everybody's looking at everybody, and he's like, and they'll say things that are, like very, where I'm like, that's actually also not why we are an all women's gym. And it's not so that we keep women safe from men who are voyeurs and gross, and because there are those ones at the gym. I mean, you and I've been to gyms where you're like, come on, guy, like knock it off. But that's not why we have the gym that we have. We believe, even here, like we don't have childcare here. Yeah. We don't have childcare here because this time is for mom. This time is for the women to be together, to do hard things together. This is their time. And we, obviously, being a mom or being a woman, part of being a woman could possibly be being a mom as well. Yeah. But like right now, it's when they come to the gym, this is the part where they get to be the woman who gets to be rowdy and loud and not worry about, is that my kid throwing
Crying.
Up over there?
Totally.
I
just heard a crash in the back. Was that mine?
I know that one's mine. No, mine's licking the window.
Right. Mine's got their hand in the toilet, actually.
I know. Where it's like we don't want that distraction in like just getting your steps in or just getting your workout in. Yeah. And that's probably why our numbers aren't really high either. I mean, there's lots of, but it creates such a space where women really do get to come and they just get to rock and roll and be rowdy. And if they're really upset with their kids or they're really upset with their spouse, they don't come here and we're not like, oh yeah, tell me everything you hate about him, girl. You tell me, and then like, oh yeah. And then it is like, okay,
we're like, hey, you had a frustrating day. Go do some med ball slams.
Yeah. Like this is a part of life, and we remind them of who they are and that they can do hard things and that they need to do hard things, that they need to step in and challenge things that are not necessarily not going according to plan, but that are coming up where they need to be honest. And so with that, it's very interesting, the environment that we have created, but man, is it like turned into such a great community of women who really learn how to step up and be friends, and like true friends. Where ladies, like this morning, and gosh, there were ladies sitting there just talking about their marriage and encouraging one another, and they were giving I was kind of listening because I was with a client and it was just like, man, you're doing a really good job. And she was sitting there and she was kind of crying a little bit. And they're like really, you're doing a good job. Like you're doing the hard things. And it's conversations like that that they just sound a little different. Like people don't come here to escape. They come here to express and to connect. And
I do have to tell you, having owned a CrossFit gym for many years, I do miss the testosterone every once in a while.
I bet.
We go down to your parents' gym so I can get the
Urban
fix
Fit.
of just being,
shout out to Urban Fit.
Just being in the presence of a bunch of men, just in that, because sometimes just being in an all women's gym sometimes there's a lot of estrogen.
There's a lot of estrogen. Yes, I totally agree.
Let's see, what else do we have on this list?
Other misconceptions. That we only carry sandbags.
Yeah.
We really do believe in the power of the sandbag for sure, because life doesn't always give you handles, baby.
Yeah. And life happens between your hands, not outside of your hands. And the sand moves and it doesn't go where you want it to, and it's hard to hold, and it's a little unpredictable sometimes.
You have to use your whole body to hold on to it, not just your hands. And they are challenging, and they are probably the most I want to say like the most used piece of equipment in our gym, would you say?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe next to kettlebells and our
Yeah.
cardio and dumbbells. I feel like we probably use sandbags, kettlebells, dumbbells
Maybe pretty evenly.
a pretty even amount. But yeah, we do use them because they're easy to use. They're super accessible. But they teach you a lot about yourself.
And you
The
can
barbell
do a
will
lot
teach you
with
a lot.
them.
Yeah, you can do a lot. You can
put them on
swing
a
'em,
sled.
throw
You
'em.
can
Yeah.
pull them. You can carry them. You can throw them.
Yeah.
You can put them on your shoulder. You can do a shouldered get up with them. You can deadlift
You can do
them.
all
You can
kinds of stuff.
press them from the floor. Press them when you stand.
Is this the time
Carry
where
'em
we
overhead.
we do a sponsored ad?
Yes, we have sandbags that we make.
We manufacture our own sandbags here.
Yes, which we actually, I think we did a darn good job
Yeah.
making a very beautiful bag. We have,
Yeah. And we did some
adjustments.
adjustments because sometimes some of the bigger sandbags women are strong enough to carry, but our arms are not maybe on average as long as men. So sometimes it's really hard to get your arms around the bigger sandbags. And so we made some adjustments in the sandbag diameter to make it a little bit easier as the bags get heavier to still be able to get your hands around them. So you're not,
They're a
holding
little
on to
longer.
a little bit longer, but then and get your arms around them so you're not trying to carry around 100-pound sandbag with another 100-pound sandbag on top of it because you can't get your arms around, a heavier bag. So
And then in your standard sandbag, it looks kind of like a pillowcase where the ends are pointed. And in our sandbags, we nipped them a little bit, and so there's a couple inches off on either side.
they look like a softer pillow.
And they do. Yes. And so what it does is it just allows there to be a little bit more sand down into the end. And I think they're better looking.
They're great.
too.
So we've got them from 40 to 200 pounds. So you can get them on our website.
200 pounds.
200 pounds. www.dropgym.com/drop shop. So you can find them in the drop shop. This ad was sponsored by Dropgym. Now back to you, Chantel. Okay, so let's just talk about this last thing. Okay, so you and me, we're women of faith. We believe in God. Do we have like a really churchy gym?
No.
No.
We definitely do not have a church
Nope.
gym.
Nope.
Are there a lot of women inside this gym that
Who
go to church?
Sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there a lot of women that are inside this gym that don't go to church? Yes.
We are not a churchy gym.
No. I think one of the coolest things about you and I both is that we are women of faith. We are very inclusive, and we love all people. And
But there's some people that know you go to church, so then they just assume that you have a church gym.
or
And-
that when they come in, we're going to try to convert them while they're under pressure. They're going to push a sled, and we're going to, in Jesus' name. No.
Cast spells.
Gas. Yeah, gas bells. Yep. Nope. That's,
nope.
That's
Nope,
not
we
what
don't
we
do
do.
that.
Not
Yeah,
even.
no.
We do run an event here at the gym called Jesus Shift.
And it's a more theology based shift event. So if you want to come to that, right? But like, I don't want to show up to an event that has some sort of, I don't know, some
Where there's
voodoo-y-
surprises,
Yeah,
where
where there's like
you-
a voodoo surprise, but nobody told me about there's a voodoo
surprise.
surprise. Like, I don't want to show up to an event like that. So I don't want people to show up to my event and be like, this was a church event and you didn't tell me this is
No.
a church gym. That's just
Yeah.
not what we do, because
make it very
doesn't-
clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
When there's an event that we are talking about,
That there's some theology and
Yes,
some Jesus
about
attached.
Jesus
We'll let
and-
you know.
yes.
But the rest of them, they're not.
no,
Yeah.
no, they're not.
But there's people who are like, oh yeah, that's a church gym. And I'm like, you must not have ever come here before. You must have heard through the rumor mill of one of the misconceptions about Drop Gym.
Yes. And if you also want to come because you've heard through the rumor mill misconceptions about Jesus, we also do a pretty darn good job of
Yeah.
making a connection between the two. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's a whole other
That's a whole nother
other
thing.
conversation.
That'll be a podcast that we will
Yeah.
also be having soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So those are just a few of the misconceptions about about Dropgym.
So what did we
and
just do?
What we've done.
Set the record straight.
Is that what we're going to call this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably pretty good. Yeah. Yep, I think that's pretty good.
Yep. We love people. We love all people. We love men. We love women. We love fitness.
We love family.
We love family. We are for sure one where, if anything, we teach women how to fight for themselves, and then in turn they fight for their relationship, they fight for their spouse, they fight for their children, and then also fight for things to be better in the world. And so often, sometimes what that means is that lies are confronted. And what do you always say about like truth and lies? Those who hate
truth sounds like hate to those who hate truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
That.
If these weren't Danny's mics, I would drop it. But I won't.
It's good.
Thank you for joining us. This episode was actually really fun. This was fun.
It was a great episode. Yeah.
If you would like to find out more about Dropgym, you can go to dropgym.com.
Dropgym Effect
on Instagram.
Yep.
Dropgym Medford. So that's more of our local community. Dropgym Effect is our global community, more of education based. You can sign up for our events on dropgym.com or at Dropgym Effect or Dropgym Medford.
You can find Lou on Instagram at Lou Crenshaw. And I was going to say .com. No, that's not it. Or me, Chantel.Dayton on Instagram as well.
Yeah. You can find us on Facebook too.
Yep.
And if you'd like to email us, you can email us at hello@dropgym.com. So thank you for joining us for this episode of Dear Life I'm In.
Hey, there were two oceans that saw each other. What did they say? They didn't say anything.
They waved.
They just waved.
Oh, that was good.
Bye-bye.